Hello and welcome back, everybody. I know it's been a while since I did a regular video. For those that know, in my personal life something bad happened, and those that don't, I'm sorry that content didn't come through this year as I planned, but I figured we'd go back to making some stuff. I also have a project I wanted to kind of tackle, since I've always wanted to kind of tackle the music realm with Sony products, but I ran into one big snag. Almost anything I wanted to use as an example has copyright, and I most likely get striked on YouTube or any other platform. Until I realized that vaporwave artist Dan Mason would let me use his music. I reached out to him and he said it was completely fine, and also I thank him for that if he ever watches this, but I doubt it. So as many of you may know, or may not know, I had a personal channel where I started Sonyphile, and I had recorded me setting up a 90s setup. And at one point I was using these speakers from the 90s as part of my setup. Now we won't be using the 90s amp, we'll actually be using one I got for free, which I'll go over in a video eventually if I can get a part for it. The issue we have here is on the right, for example and sample, is a working one of the speakers. These are an SS-H605. They were a 90s Sony speaker, a bookshelf one. I think they were paired with certain sound systems depending on what region you're in. I didn't look up the details on that, and I'm sorry about that. That's something some people would expect me to say. But I can link the manuals to those down below for anybody interested. And I like them enough that I bought another pair for a surround sound setup. And then I decided I wanted to get a 7-channel surround sound setup, so I bought another pair. Unfortunately, the third pair came in, and after I blew off all the packing peanut, because they decided to pack up packing peanuts and not cover it at all with any kind of bubble wrap, I got this. You could probably visually see here that that is pushed in a way that it should not. These should both be left channel, I think, at the moment, so they're matching on size and shape. And I'll play the regular one first, just for an example, so you know what it's supposed to sound like. Then we'll switch over to this one that unfortunately was damaged. I don't know if it was damaged in shipping only, or if it actually was like that in the listing, and I just didn't notice. I think in the photo this was pushed in a little bit, but this does not sound proper. So to make this a little less confusing, I decided to go with the good pairs of speakers I already had on the bottom, and then on the top I shall put the new speakers I got that are damaged. I will make a little note when I switch between the two, so you can hear kind of which one is which. It shouldn't be too difficult to pretty much identify the two, just because the bad pair is noticeably worse. I also realized whoever owned them seemed to have drilled holes into them to probably mount them on a wall, I assume. Hopefully that's not the only damage going on. Well, I know there's more damage than that, but we'll see. I am going to signify both verbally and on screen when I'm switching between the good ones and the bad ones. I know there's a little bit of language barrier because a decent chunk of you guys watching are actually from South America and other regions of the world, so I'm hoping this helps suffice things. For my example, I will be using Dan Mason's Drift Away Rework 2021, which is a revised version that he did last year in 2021. This video is coming out in 2022. Hopefully I get editing done by then. If not, you'll know. And we will start with the good speakers. Okay, with that sound sample, it should be pretty obvious the top ones are not sounding proper. So my real question is there any real damage, or is it just the fact that the cones are pushed in? Also, I'm not going to use proper audio terms for speaker systems. I'm sorry to anybody watching this. So we'll see. 1, can I open the speakers up? 2, is anything internally damaged enough that I can't do anything about it? 3, how much packing peanuts actually got inside of there? Because you can even see some on camera on the left ones if you look. So I looked up a service manual PDF that I found online. It looks like if I enter in at the points where the little rubber things are that the cover grill attaches to, I should be able to take it apart. I'm hoping if I do, I can pull those cones out. Hopefully things sound better and there's nothing else worse inside of there. I also don't think I'm going to be opening up the good ones just because they're in fine condition, and I don't want to mess with them unless I have some idea what I'm doing. Alright, let's get started then. Hopefully I can do something with this. Also, you guys will be glad I remembered to clip my nails a little bit this time, and I do have a cold, so I know there'll be someone in the comments complaining about that. So, these little rubber things seem to be what separates us from getting in here. I don't know if this part is adhesed on or not, but if I pop these off, which it said they were non-supple, which means non-bending, I assume? But they seem to be rubber, so I should be able to pop them out somehow. Luckily I'm using a broken pair. Hopefully pop this out. Alright, it looks like my one fear is confirmed. It does look like this thing might be adhesed and not screwed into place at those points. Yeah, unfortunately. I don't know if I have anything to pop this off without breaking anything. This is the downside of trying to work on anything of this era. Alright, so that was kind of difficult. I understand why technicians don't really deal with these anymore, just because trying to do that without damage anything aesthetically or in any other sense is not an easy task. Okay, so we got some gunk going on here. Looks like that box is still adhesed inside there, so these will slide back in eventually. They are a little rough, but they will stay firmly in place. Little plastic wedges that hold it there. Plus side is I should be able to clean more of it out. We'll pop those off. Hey, that popped off. That might explain some of our sound. I don't know if someone was in here before. This is soldered on, but this part is attached. And it also looks like these aren't the original cables. Oh no, wait. Never mind, that seems to run up to this part of it. It also looks like the wires to this part have been cut, so someone has messed with this more than they should have. That does explain some of the terrible sound. I don't know if the person on eBay that sold me this knew that was the condition of them, but dang, they're all dirty. Yeah, this thing's been damaged. Someone's opened this up before, and it looks like where the plastic and stuff was damaged, they kind of just glued it around in place, I'm gonna guess. It's kind of just adhesed down to where it should be screwed in according to the repair diagram. Fortunately, finding spare parts for a unit like this, besides finding another damaged one with parts that aren't broken, it's going to be near impossible. I'm going to see if attaching this will at least keep me from losing all the sound, but that explains why some of the audio is missing. This is not connected at all to anything. I also don't have any spare wire that would work with that. I'm gonna assume that the second unit has the same issue. I could hook it up separate, but just judging by the condition it's in, someone damaged one of these and then makeshifted glued them back together in hopes that would do a good enough job to keep it going, but I'm missing audio out of a full part, so unfortunately I don't think I have the resources to fully repair this. I could try popping this out, because it doesn't feel like that part's damaged, rewiring it, but I don't have any slim wires available in that manner at the moment. I wasn't gonna do this, but I decided I'd show it, but it looks like this isn't even the original part that came with it, which also explains the sound difference. It doesn't even match up with the holes on the unit, so it looks like they took it, they gutted one that was damaged, put two replacement parts in. Whoever, possibly in the 90s when this had way more value, they drilled little holes where the screws can fit on this and just kind of stuck it in place. I don't know how much this kind of stuff happens anymore. Probably a lot less, just because speakers are more of a high-end home use, and if you sell someone something like this, they'll probably notice right away, and if they have a way to get a hold of you, they will not be happy. So if you'd also take a closer look, yeah, these are not what came originally with the unit. Those are definitely different speakers than are in a regular one. I did check the second pair that I had, and it looks exactly like that. So someone blues their out back in the day, and then someone took some cheap speakers, probably costing way less, slapped them in there, glued them in, and then just called it a day. And it ended up on eBay through whoever the seller was. Now I'm going to message them and tell them these things are not working right and ask for a partial refund. If you have an issue like this, definitely do so. Maybe don't mention that you took it apart, because they'll just try to use this excuse and say that you destroyed it. For a little experiment, and I don't know what else much to do for an outro of a situation like this, I am going to plug in the bad one on the left channel, a good one on the right channel, and we're going to listen to the same Dan Mason song that I played earlier as a demo for an outro. So I hope you all enjoyed this little experiment of mine, and I'm hoping to see you again soon. Expect more videos next year and my usual annual wrap-up at the end of the month, or in the beginning of January. We'll see. Alright, take care for now. Goodbye.